welcome to Something Witchy, a Sabrina the Teenage Witch rewatch podcast. I'm Lara Cotter.
And I'm Sky Orchard.
And we have an episode for you today. I'm not quite sure how Sky's going to feel about.
You'll have to wait and see. Wait a whole 30 seconds to a minute.
I do have some quick updates on things. Number one, we did get refunded our money from the comedy show that we complained about. It did take a little bit more white woman complaining on my end. They did get us our full refund. So yay us, there's a win. And then we've just had a lot of people reaching out on social media lately, which has been nice. I've been doing a lot of polls lately on Instagram about the things we talk about in our little discussion. I put in do you prefer a real or fake Christmas tree? And people weighed in on that. And somebody actually sent me a message and was like, I like the fake tree because then I can put it up earlier and take it down longer to give myself more dopamine by having my decorations up longer. And I was like, that's a fair point. And then they said, also, did you ever read The Fir Tree by Hans Christian Andersen? And I'd never heard of that. Had you ever heard of that, Sky?
Mm-mm.
So I was like, no, what's it about? And they said, it's about a tree who desperately wants to be a Christmas tree. And then once all the ornaments are on him, they are heavy and hot and he feels scared. And then he dries up and they throw him on the side of the road and the tree is so sad.
Oh, gosh.
And I think I found my next holiday reading assignment.
Have I ever told you about Eugene the Sardine?
No.
I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. It was one of my favorites growing up, not gonna lie.
Okay.
It's this little fish that all he wants in life is to become a sardine. So he gets caught, you go through the sardine making process with him, and he becomes a little sardine, and I think he's eaten at the end. That's the book.
Is he actually a sardine to begin with, or is he a clownfish, or a completely different type of fish, or
I think he's a proper herring that could be a sardine, but yeah, that's his aspiration in life.
Wow.
And he does it, but the Hans Christian Andersen reminds me of Eugene the Sardine. I need to correct myself and call myself out. It is Arlene the Sardine.
Oh, okay.
Not Eugene. They rhyme, so
yeah.
Close enough, but her dream is to just become a little sardine.
You know what? Sometimes it's good to have attainable dreams.
We all can become sardines, like Arlene.
Oh, man. Well, my question of the week, I'm doing it for selfish purposes because it's going to allow me to talk about my appliance saga more. What is an adult thing you did this week that you didn't really like doing necessarily, but it's something you had to do it because you had to be an adult and do the thing and make sure it got done?
Does existing count?
Okay, I'm looking for something a little bit more than that.
I finally made it down to Salt Lake with the river for the vet, and she was offended.
You drive all the way to Salt Lake City for your vet?
I do for River just because she did have the 2 times she went into acute kidney failure. And so they have her records and they know her. And I did schedule actually Peggy today because I have been bad. And so, but I'm taking her to Roy. Yeah. Because she gets car sick and I'm not doing that drive.
Mabel goes on Friday, I think.
Oh, this is a PSA for taking your animals to the vet.
Schedule your checkups. Mabel doesn't do anything. She doesn't go anywhere. The vet's probably going to be like, well, she's 9 pounds and I'd really like her to be 8 pounds. He told me last year again. But I'm just going to be like, you know what? It's fine. She's not obesely overweight. She's fine.
Did he pull out the chart and show her where she is on the cat obesity chart?
She's on the a little bit fluffy side. She's fine. Oh, I froze, you froze, somebody froze.
I think I was just drinking tea and you thought I froze.
Well, you were very still drinking tea.
It's very hot. My only goal is to not spill tea on myself, because then it'd be even worse.
You were exceptionally still drinking that tea. Kudos to you. I don't think I've ever been that still in my life. Do it again. Yeah, it looks like you froze. You're just very still.
Like a ninja. Tea ninja. Okay, tell us about appliances.
Okay, so my adult thing I did. I actually did it today. The washing machine still isn't fixed.
Oh, no.
I had to put in a claim to my home warranty company and be like, hey, I actually need somebody to come out and look at this because my dad told me what to say and what was wrong with it. And they're like, yeah, we cover that. Because at first they were like, no, we don't cover knobs. And that's why I was going to do it on my own. So I put in the claim like early last week and they were like, yeah, that claim's approved. And I just haven't heard from anybody to come out and look at it. I think I emailed them on Friday. And I was like, hey, can I get an update on this? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a company that accepted it and they should be calling to schedule you. And I'm like, when? Because I'm going to follow up again Monday if I don't hear. And then I'll be like, can I just reach out to them? But also, I don't necessarily want to work with this company if they're not reaching out to me. That's not my adult thing. My adult thing is, so the same night that we went to the comedy show and I was saying that I was like in a really bad mood because stuff kept happening. One of the things that happened is I opened up my refrigerator and there was a bunch of water on the top shelf of my refrigerator. And I took a picture of it and sent it to my dad and was like, WTF? And he's like, I don't know. Let me look into it. And so then he was like, oh, you have an ice blockage in your freezer drain, probably. And so he sent me a list of things like, this is what you need to do to fix it. And it was like, you need to take off this back panel and then you need to find some coils and then you need to use a hair dryer to melt the ice. And then you need to take a turkey baster and shove hot water down the hole. Dad sent this to me like that Saturday night or that Sunday. And I was just like, I can't handle the thought of doing this. And so today I took everything out of my freezer. There was a ton of ice on the bottom of my freezer, first of all, because it's been apparently flooding. So I had to like hair dry all the ice and like pick all the ice out. And then I was like looking at the back panel and I have a tiny little toolkit that my dad bought me, I think when I went to college. And I was looking at the screws and I'm like, it's not like a screw, like it's not the Phillips or flathead type screw. It's like a bolt. And I was like, I have nothing that will undo these. But then I found out that my screwdriver, which has interchangeable heads, you can actually like just stick it straight on the screw without anything in it. And it works. I think it's called a ratchet. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. So I got the screws off. They were super rusty. I got the panel off and then I had to do it again for another panel and I'd take the ice maker off. And I got it all off and I hair dried the ice out and I didn't have a turkey baster. So I took a syringe I have for cough medicine and was syringing hot water down the hole and I got all the ice out and it works. I put everything back together appropriately. Now, fingers crossed, there's no more flooding in my freezer. So I fixed an appliance. Maybe.
Really proud of you and a little shocked, but proud as well.
And like I was texting my dad, like I showed him the screws at first, took a picture. I was like, I don't have anything to take these off. And he wasn't responding. And I was like, okay, Laura, we're gonna look for a solution here. And like I had 90s millennial music on in the background. And like as soon as I got the last piece all put back together, Shania Twain's Man, I Feel Like a Woman came on. And I was like, yeah, that's right.
Wow. What an adventure for you.
Next week, there'll probably be another appliance update when hopefully my washing machine gets looked down.
Fingers crossed.
I like to come with sagas I like to provide a storyline to the podcast. First, it was the DVD saga, and now it's the appliance saga.
Just letting people live vicariously through your sagas.
We gotta have continuity. We gotta have a storyline. Now people will have to tune in to see how it ends.
Ooh, smart.
This is season 2, episode 13, Little Big Kraft, which the Sabrina wiki claimed that the title is based on the Battle of Little Bighorn. I feel like that's a stretch.
Is this like self-contributions wiki?
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a stretch to say that, but okay. Our TV guide description is very long this time. When Sabrina feels that Kraft is too uptight, she makes a potion that makes him act younger, hoping he will loosen up. She puts it in his iced tea and it works. But she doesn't know that when she mixes the potion with caffeine, the container it's in retains the potion. So he continues to place his iced tea, and as he drinks it, he drinks more of the potion, and as a result, he gets younger and ends up acting like a child. And as a result, the school goes to hell because Kraft was responsible for keeping the school in order.
They used the word hell?
They did. And I edited out a grammatical error, and I didn't edit out some of the other ones, so I don't know who wrote this TV guide description.
Phoning it in that day.
That had a very long run-on sentence in there, too.
Yes.
As a result, okay.
Well, I like Paramount Plus a lot better.
I mean, because it is 1/5 the length. That description is, tired of Mr. Kraft's harsh rules, Sabrina concocts a potion to make him act like a teenager. And side note, when you originally put this in here, you put make him act like a teacher. And I was like, that doesn't sound right. So I went to the Pluto description. I was like, no, that's supposed to be teenager.
No.
So this originally aired January 9th, 1998. It was directed by David Trainer, who is returning. And then writers are Barney Cohen and Catherine Wallach, who were the writers for the Sabrina TV movie that we reviewed a while ago. We only have 2 guest stars this time. It's Sandra Kinder, who is returning as the waitress from the Dummy for Love episode, and Curtis Anderson, who's returning as Gordy. So pretty standard cast, actually, on this one. What were your overall thoughts, Sky, especially compared to the other episode that you were worried it was going to be like?
Oh, this was much better compared to that. I will take this 1,000 times over that. Inspired me to try some tea this evening to see if that will kick whatever is ailing me. If it's not the tuberculosis, see if
the mesothelioma.
The mesothelioma. See if it will heal me with some hot liquid affecting my sinuses, hopefully. So we shall see. But yeah, it was a fun little jaunt. I think it could have justified some ska music in the background on the soundtrack. Also, very quick scenes again.
I think that's just the nature of Sabrina, is quick scenes. At least I think it's going to be for the next season or 2.
Yeah, season 2. You're the quick scene.
We also got like another montage in this one. So it is the season of the montages. So I was thinking about it because I'm like, this episode does not bother me the same way the Rudy Kazudi one does. I think it's because Martin Mull, no offense to Frank Conniff, I think Martin Mull's just a better actor. And I think Frank would agree with that because it's Martin Mull. And like, it was so much fun to watch Martin Mull play a man turning into a teenager. Like, he just did a good job of portraying it in a way that was fun and not creepy.
Yeah.
It was more like silly and goofy rather than awkward and disturbing.
I did have a single moment of trauma, but we will get to that in a moment.
Okay. So we start on our cold open with Sabrina and Salem spying on Hilda and Mr. Kraft returning from their date. Mr. Kraft is talking and Hilda tries to make a quick getaway, and then he starts quoting poetry at her. She again tries to leave and he kisses her, so she zaps his car, causing it to start rolling downhill. She finally makes it inside, where Sabrina and Salem mock her and Mr. Kraft.
So did they start like informally dating after Sabrina the teenage boy? Or what's going on here?
I can't tell if this is just like a second time they've been out or if they've been out multiple times. Some of the reactions make me think that this is only maybe the second time they've gone out. Some of the other things that happen later, but I don't know. Is Hilda just that desperate to not be alone on a Friday night? That's been happening multiple times.
It just seems like in world it's been a couple months since that event, so
yeah, definitely.
Who knows? They'll never tell us. He is quoting to Hilda Sonnet 25, A Heavy Heart Beloved by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Browning was a Victorian-era poet. Her works influenced other prominent writers of the day, including Edgar Allan Poe and Emily Dickinson. A ton of her works are studied in English and literature classes. I feel like we did a month of Browning, it felt like, for AP English there. But her most well-known poem is probably Sonnet 43, How Do I Love Thee?
I don't think I ever studied her, or at least I don't remember doing so. What are you taking a picture of?
I'll have to text it to you. Lizzie's asleep in the cat tree, but it's literally just a little paw over the edge. Like there's no other sign of her besides tiny little paw.
Oh, I'm going to put it on the Instagram and be like, we're so boring. Our outfit intro. Serena's in an opera Viking type outfit and she sings a high note, then starts choking.
And right after this lovely outfit intro, Paramount Plus decided to put in a commercial. And the commercial starts off just with a room with a crib, and it was not yet clear it was a commercial. There was an intense moment of trauma before it became clear it was a commercial. So
what was the commercial for?
Diapers or something.
I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Thank you.
I did send you earlier. So one of our followers sent us a picture of her with Frank Conniff, and I sent that to you because she was like, send this to Sky. And she did say that he's actually a very nice man. And she met him at like Dragon Con or something. And I have no doubts he's a lovely man. I just don't care for his acting.
Yes.
Mr. Kraft took Hilda to a cattle auction because he likes to know the price of the cattle. He's also in a diet, so they didn't get dinner. Hilda complains that he's one of those people who hit middle age and just forgot how to have fun. Zelda comes in yelling for Hilda because she used the laptop again without asking.
Hildegard Antoinette Spellman, we find out.
Hilda complains that it hasn't been a good night for her. Sabrina comforts her, saying that at least she won't have to go out with Mr. Kraft again. So I think it was like maybe a one-off, because she's like, oh, at least you don't have to go out with him again. To everyone's shock, though, she's going out with him again next week. With how long she'll live, she has a lot of Friday nights to fill. And that's when I was like, maybe I should try Hilda's approach to dating. Sabrina tries to get a drink from the water fountain, but it doesn't work. Ms. Quick kicks it, and when Sabrina tries again, it sprays way too far. Harvey comes by and asks Sabrina to sign up for the PTA-sponsored ski trip this weekend. Sabrina is suspicious that the PTA will find a way to ruin it. Right on cue, Libby walks by, telling Mr. Kraft she's so happy that he's chaperoning the ski trip. His motto is, fun with discipline, and I'm going to embroider that on a pillow.
Do you know how to embroider?
I know how to cross-stitch.
Okay.
Mr. Kraft is holding a meeting in the cafeteria with Libby at his side, and I couldn't figure out what this meeting was. I thought it was like a PTA meeting at first, but then there's students, and then they're like, it's a student government meeting, but there's a lot of kids there for student government, because usually student government's like 5 kids on student council, so I don't know what this meeting is. They're banning all nut products from future bake sales due to the janitor's allergic reaction. And Mr. Kraft strikes me as one of those people who thinks that food allergies don't exist. So I was very taken aback that he would go to the lengths of banning all nuts from future bake sales for one person.
I feel like there was a line, though, of him, like, the janitor finally being off his oxygen machine.
Yeah, I still think Mr. Kraft would be like, oh man, he's such a drama queen. He's such, like, he overreacts so much. He's, like, finally off his oxygen machine or something like that.
But in order to not get sued, let's just ban the nut products.
When he turned aside to Libby, I thought he was going to say something like, I don't even like nuts. Like, I'm really doing it because I don't like nuts or something like that. I was waiting for him to, like, turn it into something else. The next item is how to spend the money that last year's seniors left. There's another loser moment. Levy proposes to use it to sponsor the cheerleaders to go to a workshop in France. Mr. Kraft loves that idea.
So the brightest and best of today's youth taking their American values over to the godless countries of Europe.
Mr. Kraft kind of reminds me of like a teacher version of Ron Swanson. With that line, kind of reminded me of that.
Do not insult Ron Swanson.
That's a line that Ron Swanson would say about Europe.
Yes, a single line does not make Mr. Kraft Ron, though.
Gordy proposes that they get a drinking fountain that works. They put it to a vote, and everybody votes for the drinking fountain, but Mr. Kraft gives the money to the cheerleaders anyway. Sabrina stands up to object. Mr. Kraft used his veto to overrule the vote. Sabrina thought this was supposed to be democratic. Mr. Kraft thinks their forefathers would have wanted the cheerleaders to see Paris and Brussels on the weekend, adds Libby.
Have we seen previous episodes where Libby and Mr. Kraft are so buddy-buddy?
Not to this extent, but we've definitely seen where she's like sucked up to him and that he's favored her before. This is the start of where we see them really like getting in cahoots with each other.
It's an interesting development.
Yeah, it's just going to get more so from here on out. Zelda asks Sabrina if she's been using the laptop without permission. Sabrina reluctantly admits she has, and Zelda reveals a beaker that is stuck to her hand from Sabrina's attempt to make hair mousse. Zelda makes a new rule. No one plays with the laptop, no matter what. And I was distracted wondering if Zelda's hair had a bump it in it. Because it had a little like, boop.
I show that Bumpets came out in 2008, but that sounds way too late.
I think it's the name brand Bumpet. Like, I think people had been bumpeting their hair before then, but they just didn't use like a Bumpet. I think they used like other things to bump it up.
The hairspray and not an actual plastic.
Wasn't the trademark Bumpet.
Bump it. Twist it. Pull it.
Bop it.
Bop it. Don't they say bump at some point?
No, it's bop, twist, pull. That's the original one is 3. There's another one that has 4, and I can't remember.
Yeah, there's the little zoink.
Flick it?
Don't worry. I'm going to make a bop it and rename it the bump it and do all these better names.
And you can put it in your hair?
Sure. 2 for 1.
It'll be like the thing they sell at Five Below because it's the off-brand bop it. It's the bump it. Mr. Kraft is handing out rule sheets for the ski trip, including no snacking between meals, lights out at 8 o'clock, and no laughing. Everyone will also have to pitch in with chores because they're staying at his ex-father-in-law's condo, which that must be a big condo for the number of kids that have signed up for this ski trip, but okay. In exchange, they'll get up to 45 minutes a day of ski time. Everyone groans. Mr. Kraft leaves, and Sabrina and Harvey complain about him. Mr. Kraft has completely forgotten what it's like to be young. Suddenly, Sabrina gets an idea and runs out, and Harvey's hair is much shorter this episode, or at least style different. I think he got a haircut over the winter break. Next, we see Sabrina at the laptop with Salem. Sabrina justifies it by saying she's not playing with it, and she's solving a world problem by helping Mr. Kraft better understand teenagers. Sabrina finishes brewing the potion and gets a tube of candy, and the tiny Salem safety goggles are back. Back at school, Sabrina is plotting how to slip a few of the candies into Mr. Kraft's iced tea, and the locker graffiti is visible again. I sent a picture of it to Sky. We think it says JDF is tardy. I went through the Sabrina IMDb page and could not find one person with the initials JDF or even just JF. So I don't know who JDF is, but apparently they were late enough times that they felt like marking it in Sabrina's locker for all eternity. I will share the picture on socials so you all can see it and weigh in. We then get the montage with, in the background, the Pink Panther song playing. Sabrina is sneaking behind Mr. Kraft in the hallway as he reads something on his clipboard. And there's a new poster that says there is no I in team and features a rowing team. Mr. Kraft then stops some boys from climbing up the wall ceiling while Sabrina tries to sneak behind him. She tries to sneak around a doorway while he hangs something on a bulletin board. She hides in a trash can as he stops two kids from canoodling, and they're not even kissing. Like, they're even like a foot away from each other, just like kind of holding on to each other. And he's like, not here. She's like, okay.
Not in my halls.
Okay. She almost gets caught when someone tapes a kick me sign on his back, and she gets blamed for that sign. And in the background, there's a no smoking poster that is just giant letters NO with a cigarette coming out of the O, and that poster pops up at least 2 more times and is very prominently placed.
Poster watch 2025.
Oh, I have more posters. Don't worry. There's more coming. Mr. Kraft pulls Sabrina into his office and asks why she's been following him around. She blames it on his cologne and says she wants to buy some for her friend, Harvey. Very clearly says her friend, not boyfriend.
So it was just 2 friends kissing on the holidays.
Don't blame me when I go around making out with everybody at Christmas this year, because apparently that's what you do.
Kudos to Mr. Kraft for Old Spice. Good taste.
I feel like he probably went for that because it's cheap.
Don't insult Old Spice like that.
It's probably like deodorant. It's probably not even actually cologne. It's probably like Old Spice deodorant, to be honest.
Probably.
He assigns her detention for smelling the vice principal and turns around to grab the pitcher of iced tea. Sabrina zaps the pile of detention, slips away. He leaves her alone in his office while he gets some more, and Sabrina finally has the chance to slip the candies into his tea. She comes back as she is swirling it around, and she covers by pouring him a glass, to which he says, kissing up is a way of life, not just something you do when it suits you. He takes a drink, and immediately the effects kick in. He starts by turning on the radio and tears at the detention slip while loosening his tie. Harvey is complaining about his ski trip chore, painting the living room, when Mr. Kraft comes into the cafeteria and joins him and Sabrina at their lunch table, adding a cough loser to another teacher. Gordy trips, spilling his tray, and Mr. Kraft claps along with everyone else. He then starts telling them about the water balloons he's bringing to the ski trip. Who throws water balloons in snowy mountains in January? That's a good way to get hypothermia.
Or he's letting them freeze into ice balls.
I mean, that's worse.
He and Hilda could actually be a good pair.
That's a good way to give somebody a concussion. Harvey asks if they still have to clean, and Mr. Kraft tells him to just fake it. He then starts to tell a story about an infected toe, which I was like, is that a young person thing? So I feel like that's a very old person thing.
I don't know. The story ended with his toenails floating around in his sock.
Yeah, it was something weird. I'm like, maybe that's a gross teenage boy story, but I also feel like that's an old man story.
Yeah.
Libby interrupts to try to get her form for the Paris trip signed, and Mr. Kraft is very annoyed. She keeps interrupting, and Mr. Kraft grabs the form and signs it, then plays keep away with it with Harvey. It finally lands in something wet. I think it's applesauce, some sort of cafeteria food, and Libby is very upset. Mr. Kraft mocks her by pretending to play a small violin. Harvey remarks that he seems different, and Sabrina gladly agrees. Sabrina is telling Salem all about the spell, including that Mr. Kraft played Smells Like Teen Spirit with his nose. The spell is working great. Salem wonders how it's affecting his date with Hilda. Sabrina suddenly gets worried. But Hilda and Mr. Kraft arrive back home with Hilda holding a giant stuffed bear and saying how much fun she had. Hilda leans in for a kiss, but Mr. Kraft seems hesitant before Hilda just grabs his face and kisses him. When Hilda goes inside, Sabrina asks how the date went, and Hilda gushes about how amazing it was. She's crazy about Willard Kraft.
They threw softballs at clowns, and I would not put it past Hilda if it were real clowns they were throwing softballs at. Also, she becomes infatuated very quickly, which could explain some of her past choices.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sabrina rationalizes that Hilda may be in love with someone under a spell, but at least she's not in trouble. Everyone is outside the school waiting for the ski bus. Mr. Kraft finally arrives and admits he forgot to hire the bus. Sabrina asks if they can fix it, and Mr. Kraft offers to race them to the arcade. Ms. Quick says they need to stay with the kids to make sure they get home, but he runs off anyway. Sabrina tries to assure everyone that he's off to get help, and Harvey adds that maybe he'll do that after he's done mooning them. Have you ever been mooned or mooned somebody's sky?
I have not.
I think people talked about mooning more than it actually happened. I think it's like a quicksand thing. It was more talked about in childhood than actually happened.
That's not something I feel compelled to do.
Not yet.
True. Might drink some potion.
Sabrina and Harvey walk through filthy halls, and she's in a very short skirt for winter again. Mr. Kraft forgot to pay the janitors, so they're on strike, and Harvey warns Sabrina to avoid the bathrooms. Then the lights go out. Harvey notes that Mr. Kraft has been acting strange lately. Just then, the man in question comes riding through the halls on a bike. Harvey and Sabrina watch as he crashes. Sabrina takes off to call home. And we see Salem answering the phone this time, so that's been established. Somehow Salem can answer phones and make phone calls, but how he can't do some other things that would require the same amount of dexterity remains a mystery. Sabrina calls Salem and tells him that she needs to reverse the spell. Mr. Kraft keeps getting younger. He comes by just then using finger guns and telling Sabrina to freeze, pretending to be a cop. No one is eating in the cafeteria because Mr. Kraft forgot to sign a food order. They're starting to realize that Mr. Kraft is in charge of a lot more than just attention. Livy complains that she's hungry, and she's not nice when she's hungry.
Sabrina has a great line of, "So it's a nutrition problem."
Mr. Kraft finally arrives, and Miss Quick confronts him. He shrugs his shoulders and tells her to go fix lunch, then mocks her. He pulls a bunch of stuff out of his pockets and offers the kids a couple Rolos, a Jawbreaker, and some ABC gum. Ms. Quick tries to tell him that ordering food is his responsibility, but he just mocks her some more and she walks off. Ms. Quick is trying to teach the class quadratic equations to get ready for the state exams when Mr. Kraft comes over the intercom burping loudly, to which Ms. Quick says, "He makes 3 times as much as me." He announces that he's letting everyone go home for 3 weeks. Ms. Quick panics. They'll never be ready for the exams and they'll lose their accreditation. When Sabrina exits the classroom, Gordy stops her by the payphones because her uncle is calling for her. Sabrina takes the phone and talks to Salem. He asks if she mixed the potion with hemlock, but of course she didn't. He tells her that's the only way she could have messed up unless she mixed it with caffeine. Sabrina realizes she did mix it with caffeine in the iced tea. Salem tells her everyone knows you don't mix an aging potion with caffeine. It causes the container to absorb the potion, and now every time he uses that container, he'll get more of the potion. Sabrina needs to get the carafe. Salem tells her to be careful, 99, but Sabrina doesn't get it.
99 referencing the 1960s Mel Brooks TV show Get Smart, which came about because of the popularity of James Bond. The TV series was a parody of the secret agent genre. It starred Don Adams as Agent Maxwell Smart and Barbara Feldon as his partner, Agent 99. Agent 99's name is never revealed on the show. She is just Agent 99.
It also got rebooted into a movie starring Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway.
That it did.
And I own that DVD.
I think I watched it once.
I don't know why I own that DVD, but I do.
And you're really proud about it.
I'm so proud of it. Sabrina goes into Mr. Kraft's empty office and grabs the pitcher, which they keep calling it a carafe, and that's not what a carafe looks like. A carafe is like, goes up and then it goes in and then it goes out like that. What they have has a handle on the side. It's a pitcher.
The definition of carafe is vague enough, though, that one could make an argument. I'm not saying I'm pro calling it a carafe. I'm just saying.
All right, this is going to be the new Instagram poll. Is it a pitcher or is it a carafe? And y'all better choose pitcher. Maybe it's an East Coast thing. Maybe it's an educated high society thing. And I am neither one of those. I am educated. Not about crafts or pitchers. All right, so she grabs the pitcher / Kraft, but suddenly Mr. Kraft appears out of his fort. He tries to play tag with her, but then she tries to leave, so he gives her an arm burn, and then she smacks him with a cushion before leaving and leaves behind the pitcher. She arrives back home having failed to get the pitcher. She tries to look through the magic book for a solution, but Salem has already torn through it. Literally. Sabrina admits she's going to have to ask an aunt, and Salem suggests Aunt B. Do you know who Aunt B is?
Aunt Barbara?
The Andy Griffith Show. She lived with Andy and Opie and Mayberry.
Well.
I do think that when I was younger and heard this line, I thought Aunt B meant like the B option, like Hilda. And Zelda would be the A option, but it's Aunt B, as in Aunt B from the Andy Griffith Show.
The more you know.
Sabrina approaches Zelda while she's working on her laptop. She poses her problem as a hypothetical situation, but Zelda sees right through her. Zelda tells Sabrina to just tell her what's going on. Sabrina instead asks where Hilda is, but she's on a date with Mr. Kraft. Mr. Kraft is on the ground under the table at the restaurant, and Hilda is trying to get him up. Hilda tries to talk about what a great time she had the other night, but Mr. Kraft pours salt into his water, drinks it, spits it out, then uses Hilda's napkin she offers him to blow his nose. He wiggles around in his chair when the waitress arrives with Hilda's steak and what she calls Mr. Kraft's sundae, but is very clearly a milkshake. He asks for more cherries as he eats the whipped cream with his face. He then tries to grab Hilda's food, and when she gives him a bite, he spits it out. He starts asking to go home and slides under the table again. Hilda is frustrated, but suddenly realizes Sabrina. Hilda arrives back home with food on her shirt and angrily approaches Sabrina.
Salem with the great line of, you know, these days a lot of restaurants will put leftovers in a bag for you.
She tells Sabrina that Mr. Kraft is asleep in the car because the ride really tuckered him out. Sabrina tries to leave, claiming she's tired too, but Hilda grabs her and asks what spell she put on Mr. Kraft. Salem tries to defend himself by claiming Sabrina put him up to it, and then says something about eating the mashed potatoes on her shirt. The scene flips to Zelda brewing something at the laptop while Hilda and Sabrina watch. She's making an anti-youth potion.
The ingredients of which is 1 part prune juice, 1 part Miami Beach tap water, and just a pinch of Buddy Ebsen salt.
Do you know who Buddy Ebsen is?
Yes, he was playing the Tin Man in Wizard of Oz, and the makeup made him very sick to the point where he had to be in an iron lung for a little bit.
Oh. He was also on Beverly Hillbillies, which we've referenced on this show. They go into the living room where Mr. Kraft is watching cartoons. Sabrina is going to give him the medicine. Zelda warns her again not to change people's personalities, and especially not to mix it with caffeine. Sabrina attempts to feed Mr. Kraft a spoonful by pretending to be a train. He takes a sip and immediately reverts to his old self. He asks how he got there, and Hilda covers by saying he got sick and passed out at dinner. He insists on buying her another dinner, so Hilda reluctantly agrees. He then talks to Sabrina off to the side and says he feels like something odd is going on and Sabrina is responsible. She tries to blame it on a concussion. Mr. Kraft leaves, telling Hilda he'll see her Tuesday for Black Angus night at the stockyards. Hilda threatens Sabrina that if she comes home with a steer, it's sleeping in her bedroom. Mr. Kraft and Miss Quick are talking with Mr. Kraft blaming what happened on too much iced tea. Okay, posters in the background. The drugs poster is back. The AIDS poster has been replaced by the No I in Team one from earlier. The potato has been replaced by, it's just penguins. It looks like there's something in yellow written above the penguins, but I can't tell if it is or if there's anything or if it's just color. And then there's one on the side, I think says hitch your wagon to a star. It definitely says hitch your wagon to a STA, and I couldn't see the rest of it. So I'm hoping that one comes back in the future so we can see what that poster says.
Hitch a wagon to a star and you will go far into the sky.
Mr. Kraft hands both Harvey and Sabrina detentions, which will now be awarded solely on personal resentments. An angry Libby walks by and Mr. Kraft asks her what's wrong.
I thought you believed in the work of cheerleaders, but it turns out you are no more than an educator.
Rough insult.
Very.
She's still upset over the Paris trip for cheerleaders, but he hands her the tickets, then makes a joke about the drinking fountain still being broken. Harvey and Sabrina try to find the bright side to the old Mr. Kraft being back, but Sabrina still zaps the drinking fountain, so it drenches Mr. Kraft. Now she's grateful. Our end tag. Sabrina is grounded, and she has to make something for Zelda at the laptop. Salem says it's Zelda's way of teaching them to respect the laptop. Sabrina still doesn't understand why she has to make Limburger frappe. She complains about how bad it smells, and Salem takes a sniff, then passes out. Sabrina runs off to get the ants to help, but Salem immediately gets back up and starts eating it. next?
Limburger is a type of cheese originating from the historical Duchy of Limburg. It's not actually Limburg unless it comes from the Limburg region of, it's actually French-speaking Belgium.
Otherwise, it's just sparkling cheese.
Yep. Otherwise, it's just a stinky cheese. The cheese is especially known for being one of the most pungent cheeses in existence. The smell is caused by the bacterium Brevibacterium linens. The bacterium is also used in the fermentation of other cheeses, including Munster, and is used in the making of blue cheese. It can also exist, / it does exist, on human skin and is oftentimes the cause of foot odor.
Ew.
Cheese feet.
FYI, I looked it up. Hitch a wagon to a star is a phrase coined by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it means to set high aspirational goals and commit to them.
So you will go far into the sky.
Though a more cynical modern interpretation refers to using successful people to achieve one's own ambitions.
You know, don't knock it till you try it.
So that is our episode. I enjoyed it. It's always nice to see a range from an actor like Martin Mull. Felt very reminiscent of like some of the crazy spells we've seen Harvey be put under. It's always a fun time to see like the really good actors get a chance to run with some of the fun, silly things we make them do. Our next episode is season 2, episode 14, 5 Easy Pieces of Libby. Do you have a guess for this one, Sky?
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Okay, I've got it. It's going to be great.
Okay.
Libby is turned into a mannequin.
Okay.
She is broken apart.
Okay.
Arms, legs, torso. There are 5 mannequin pieces.
Where's the head?
It can be on the torso.
Okay.
The mannequin pieces are spread about, and there's a timeline of it has to be put back together again before Libby dies. Hilda's involved somehow, too. Definitely gonna happen.
I actually really want you to remember that that was your guess, okay? If you can. Like, maybe, like, write yourself a note somewhere.
Write it on my arm.
I'll create the new notes document, and you can write it at the top of the new notes document. So,
okay.
Until next time, when we find out if Sky is right or not, or if I'm just saying this so I can make fun of Sky.
I'm always right.
Well, you're right if you do the really vague description that we had a couple episodes ago, where it's like, Sabrina uses a spell, it goes awry, she has to learn a lesson.
That was literally the TV guide description. I was taking notes.
I know. I think it was like TV Guide and Paramount were both really vague, that one. Anyway, so until next time, you can like, share, rate, and subscribe to this podcast. You can email us at somethingwitchypod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram at somethingwitchypod, and we're having a party over there, so you should definitely join us. And you can follow us on TikTok at something.witchy.pod.
Could not find candy corns the other day.
What?
But they are coming, I'm sure. Your Reese's pumpkin shapes are out there, though, at least at Smith's. But I've already got my idea for the candy corn plus MSG video, how I'll have controls and how I'll test it, as well as my controls for asparagus and ketchup. So those videos to come soon, but only if you follow us.
Until next time.
Stay magical.